Hey guys, how's it going? Well, I finally got a chance to try out the Mi 10 and I've been using this phone in my pocket for the last 10 days after all these updates, and I have to say, it genuinely feels like a fantastic device. That said, my daily driver has been the OnePlus 8 Pro, which is my primary device and is also the direct competition to the Mi 10. And it just makes you wonder, why would you want to buy the Mi 10? I mean, at just 5,000 more, the OnePlus 8 Pro offers a much better display and arguably better design with water resistance, and that 5,000 difference really makes the OnePlus 8 Pro a much better of a deal. So, who is the Mi 10 for? Well, this is Varun from Guiding Tech, and I'll try to answer that very question in my long-term review. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with the design. Now, while the 8 Pro tries to go for a slim edge design, the Mi 10 goes for a bolder and curvy form. The Mi 10 definitely feels heavier than the 8 Pro, but only slightly. And it's still lighter than the OnePlus 7T Pro, and to be honest, your hands can get used to the design just as well. The Gorilla Glass front with a glass back and aluminum frame all scream premium, and the glass finish here does have some interesting curved patterns light up. However, it is a fingerprint magnet, and I wish that it had a matte finish like the 8 Pro does. Also, it does not have any IP certification like the 8 Pro does. It has a beautiful curved 6.67-inch Super AMOLED Full HD display with a 90Hz refresh rate. Yeah, it's just that the 8 Pro's Quad HD 120Hz makes it look kind of mediocre here. So I guess that's a wrap in the display and the design section. See, the Mi 10 has a great design and has a great display. In fact, it's one of the best displays on offer on Xiaomi device. But there are certain things that I would like to ever so slightly tweak. And when you get on that level and you start tweaking, the end result is something that you get with the 8 Pro. Now, one thing that I do want to mention here, which really gives Xiaomi a lot of points, which a lot of folks won't really care about, but it's definitely worth highlighting, is that Xiaomi here has a much better DAC here. So what it means, if you're using a pair of wired earphones, the audio output that you'll get from the Mi 10 is going to be considerably better than the OnePlus 8 Pro. And that is a big factor for audiophiles. Now, personally, I have already switched to Bluetooth devices, and with Bluetooth 5.1, I don't really notice that delay or lag or anything. But yeah, for pure audiophiles who are still relying on their 20,000, 30,000 pure heavy studio grade headphones, the Mi 10 would obviously offer a much better sound profile. But that is a very niche factor. Then there's the camera, and that is where we have some sort of fight. See, the OnePlus 8 Pro has a great camera setup, but the Xiaomi Mi 10 has a flagship 108 megapixel camera. And I'm not just talking about numbers here. Yes, 108 megapixels sounds good, but it also performs that well. Now you can see some shots on your screen right now, and more often than not, I found myself liking the Mi 10's shot a tad bit more. It's not a major difference, but the Mi 10 definitely has something going for in its favor. Sadly, that's just the case with the primary sensor. The 8 Pro has a much better ultra-wide sensor and also offers a telephoto lens, while Xiaomi resorts to the cheap old 2 megapixel macro and depth sensors. One advantage that the Mi 10's camera has that it supports 8K video recording, but if you're going on that kind of a level and you're super serious about recording videos from your mobile, neither of these devices is for you. Just get the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. Okay, now next up is the performance factor, and well, it's a Snapdragon 865 chipset, it's the flagship chipset, and the performance on this thing has been top notch without the device actually having a notch. But anyway, everything works so great on this, and it's probably the best MIUI 12 experience I've used so far. In fact, MIUI 12 works so good on this phone that despite being a OnePlus fanboy, I kinda dig MIUI 12 on this phone more than OxygenOS, and that is saying something. Now, I still feel that there are certain features that MIUI 12 offers that are not present on OxygenOS. The extra privacy enhancements and the whole UI, while it feels like a blatant copy of iOS, definitely feels more unique as compared to OxygenOS. But yeah, overall in terms of performance, the phone has been outstandingly great. There's also support for 5G if you care about that, so that is a factor to consider. Now, while we're on the topic of software, another thing that's worth mentioning here is that both the phones here come with betas for Android 11 already out there. However, the stable build for Oxygen OS 11 should be coming in the next few weeks, while with Xiaomi, the beta that's already available is technically a GSI image, which Xiaomi provides on its own, but it's not MIUI. So at the end of the day, if you're waiting for MIUI 13 that will be based on Android 11, that's something that will be launched in the second quarter of 2021. However, there is the possibility that Xiaomi might just update the base of MIUI 12 on Android 11, because Xiaomi likes to do that, but we can never be too sure about that. Moving along, there's the battery life, and the 4780 mAh battery on the Mi 10 can easily last you a full day of extremely heavy usage or even 1.5 days of mediocre usage, which is great. Now what makes the whole experience better is the 30-watt charging. I know it's not super fast or anything, but here's the thing. 30-watt charging is great, but the best part about it is that it comes with USB PD. So that means you can just use any USB PD fast charge out there to juice this thing up. What that means is that you do not have to carry an extra charger. You can just carry one USB-C charger, something like for your MacBook, and you can use it to juice the Mi 10 exactly at the same speed as the default charger. So yeah, that is a big plus. Now, the downside here is that it also comes with 30-watt wireless charging, but that is something that is supported only via the proprietary charger, similar to the OnePlus 8 Pro. I haven't tested it out, so I won't be putting any verdicts on that wireless charging performance. But yeah, it's a feature, and if you really care about it, yes, you can go for it. I do admire wireless charging, but yeah, I mean, if you're willing to spend the extra amount to get that fast charging on wireless mode, go for it. So what's the whole point of this video, and who is the Mi 10 exactly for? Well, it's clear that outrightly the OnePlus 8 Pro is a better deal than the Mi 10. Yes, the Mi 10 has its slight advantages, and some people might prefer the design here and the custom skin. I don't blame you for that if you do. But if you look for the value for money and the overall features that you get, everything all in package considered, the OnePlus 8 Pro is definitely a much better deal at just 5,000 more. And here's the problem with that. It's 2020 and Mi 10 is the only device from Xiaomi, Redmi or Poco, the whole house from Xiaomi, the only device to feature a high refresh rate AMOLED panel. That is a bummer because there is no other device from the company that offers a higher refresh rate at an AMOLED panel. So yeah, but what if there was a different variant? Well, let me paint you a picture. Okay, so imagine this. What if there was a phone that came with MIUI and had an AMOLED panel with a high refresh rate? Sort of. It was light on your pockets, had a unique design, had great cameras with excellent compatibility for Gcam as well, came with fast charging, and the best part, wasn't that expensive. Sounds like a perfect device for all of you MIUI fans, right? Especially the ones who are eyeing the Mi 10. Well, luckily there is a device like that, and it's called the Redmi K20 Pro. I know some of you might be like, wait, what? It's a forgotten device, but it's still one of the best devices out there that you can buy. And that high refresh rate thing that I talked about, all you need to do is just root it and just use a custom mod that pushes the refresh rate to 81 Hz. I know it's not 90 Hz per se, but 81 Hz is still pretty good because I've used the device personally at 81 Hz and most people won't be able to tell the difference. The best part is the battery difference on both the modes isn't that high. And the overall performance that you get on that phone, even though it came with a Snapdragon 855, is still great. The best part here is that the K20 Pro currently is priced for just Rs 25,000. That's literally half of the Mi 10. And wait, it gets even better. That's the 8 plus 256GB variant I'm talking about. You can get the K20 Pro's 6 plus 128GB variant for just 23,000. So yeah, until unless you really care about wireless charging, and you really care about 5G, and you really care about having a sort of a different design with a punch hole camera, the K20 Pro would be a much better device suited for you MIUI fanboys, considering it also has a unique design. Full view display is something that not a lot of phones right now offer. Most phones are going for the punch hole display, and full view experience is something that I still prefer over the punch hole cameras. So yeah, that is another plus point. Now, I'm not saying that the Mi 10 is a bad phone or it's overpriced or something. In fact, it's priced really well considering that the package it offers. It's just that OnePlus has undercut its pricing of the OnePlus 8 Pro here in the Indian market, and here in India, the Mi 10 does not make that a lot of a sense. Well, that was my take and my long-term review of the Xiaomi Mi 10. If you like this video, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Varun from Guiding Tech, and I'll see you in the next one.